All right, thanks, Susanna. As you were talking, it made me kind of laugh. I don't think the participants know whether I'm in pajamas and a robe or a Brooks Brothers suit right now. And I think that kind of just highlights the fact that, we're not able to make sales calls. We're certainly not able to do international travel. And even if you could, you're never going to reach all the clientele. So it almost plays more into the fact that an online presence and putting that sort of, so to speak, Brooks Brothers suit out there on the internet is so important because your international customers can't see your location here in Michigan. I'm very proud of our building and our headquarters in Howell, but it's very rare that the international customers can see that. So the online presence becomes even more important. On this first slide, just to give you a little bit of background to have an understanding of why we do what we do with IBT in the state of Michigan. Armor is a manufacturer of rust preventives and rust removers. Primarily, we're taking rust preventative chemistry and we're impregnating that or coating packaging materials so that metal manufacturers like OEMs and tier 1, 2, 3 suppliers that ship metal parts, store them, can use our packaging to prevent rust. And so there's kind of two questions I would say we had was why do we want an international website, and then why did this program answer our needs? And so the first is why do we want an international website? Well, it's because we are a provider of rust preventatives for OEMs and tier 1s and 2s and 3s. And so, as you know, that's a global industry, and so we have and need worldwide locations. So we have partners in countries like India, China, Mexico, Japan, etc. Secondly, why did this program answer our needs? Well, I think it's really twofold. It's financially, it made a lot of sense. The fact that the state of Michigan gives grants to this, it makes it very affordable. And then secondly, it's just the ease of working with IBT. And that's been proven for us a few times over on the websites that we've done. So if you want to go to the next slide, there was really three things that we looked at, or that I was looking at when our team worked with IBT and in the websites in general. One was branding consistency. The second was showing our global reach to our customer base. And the third was localized and correct content and language. And so I think the first one is we already had a website in the works when we began working with IBT. We spent a good deal of time putting that website together. That's what you see there on that page. And so we weren't looking for them to reinvent the wheel. We were really looking for them to be consistent with our branding. It's very important to us. Even from the the goofiness of head honcho, we have a core value called authenticness, and it's being authentic. It's being authentic and having fun. And so all the things that we do at Armor, we wanted to make sure that we were consistent in our global approach as well. So that branding consistency, I would say they really nailed it. You're seeing her toggle through the Chinese site and the Mexico site. And as she said, it's specific to Mexico. It's not written just for Spanish-speaking countries. It's specific to the Mexican market. And they've done a fantastic job in executing that. So that's our homepage that you're seeing on the top there. You see the flags of the different countries. And what was a little bit surprising, and I learned from IBT, was the need for websites like Canada or India where they speak English. But it was important, as she said, in those 10 attributes, language is only one of them. And so what we found is that the way they write it, the way it's hosted, the keywords, etc., is really important. We have a plant in Canada, and I tease them that we could just add EH question mark to a lot of the lines, and we could call it good. And IBT really helped me understand that there's a lot more to it, even in an English-speaking country than just the actual language. So the branding consistency was important. If you go to the next slide there, this one is our product page. Same thing. This is the U.S. headquarters product page. We don't have the whole scrolling down, but everything from the standpoint of our products and how they look and how they were done, they mimicked it. You see our Chinese version there with the PDF attachments in Chinese. or at least the links to them in Chinese, and then again in Mexico. And so the consistency of which they did it was so important. The only difference really was that on our United States homepage, or I should say our US site, we have more content. And so the program we did with IBT was taking just sort of the necessary content. And so there's a very specific program they have. We followed it, and I think it's worked very well. The third one slide is our frequently asked questions. Again, they executed it flawlessly. They can provide you the input in translating if you need that, or if you have your own translating services. In some cases we gave them the translations, and I think in others they provided the translations for us. And then the last slide was one that I actually asked them to put in there, and that was really just to really kind of toot their horn for them, is that they were really easy to work with. It was a big requirement for us. Probably like many of you, you're buried with your own things in the United States, the markets in Michigan or whatever area you're working. And so the last thing you're really wanting to do is worry about the rest of the world and content and websites and trying to do that. And so they made it extremely easy. They use, I believe the software is called Teams. And so the back and forth, the chatting, the ability to add content to it and attach documents was really flawless and easy. And I can't say enough about how they did that. And that's really it for me. I'll be happy to answer any questions at the end of this if anyone has any questions about how we executed it. But we were very pleased with the entire program.